Start with our
Let's
prayer.
all stand, go Lord and work. Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you so much for your blessings for us and watching over us during these storms, dear God. You've kept us all safe. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for your Son who sacrificed his life on Calvary's cross to save us from our sins. Dear God, I pray now that you'd be with us. You'd guide us and lead us in our meeting, dear Lord. And if everything that goes right will be brought to your praise and glory. These things I pray in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ken. I'll entertain a motion to approve our minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Our claims come to the amount of $925,862.66. I'll entertain a motion to approve those claims.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Gentlemen, if you'll provide a signature, route that back to the auditor, appreciate it. Treasurer report and our clerk report.
There are none for it.
Okay. Minutes, if you'll sign those, please. Department reports. Do we have any department heads here this evening? Come on up. What we normally do is we've been trying to get in the habit of making sure we just announce our name and which department you're representing, and I'm sure you've been very busy last day or so with all the storms and everything.
Stephanie McKinney,
Yes, sir.
EMA. So, we don't have a lot to report on. The siren in Hofstad is going to be out of service for a while and needs a new battery. The tech is working on that. So speaking of outdoor sirens, Commissioner Fleetwood and I have been working on funding to get those all replaced. We know those need to be replaced. They're very old. They're very costly. So we are working on that. I do ask that residents have two other sources of notification systems, either on your phone or this nice little handy dandy weather radio. And I can program those for you. They don't cost anything, get programmed. I can even walk you through it over the phone. So, the next thing is to tell you about is the Duke Foundation grant. I made application from Duke for $10,000 to use for county responders for training and equipment, whatever, and was awarded 11. Really.
Congratulations.
So I've been able to sponsor an EMR class we had at Owensville. There were 12 participants from Gibson County to complete the class, so that was really nice. Offset the cost for some other departments. The other thing I'm excited about is as the commissioners have allowed for employees to take first aid and CPR training during working hours. Employees have been able to get trained first aid and CPR. So far, there have been over what? About when did you guys do that? Couple of years?
It's been about 2 years.
So over that time span, there's been about 60 employees trained in first aid and CPR.
We've created a safer work environment. and a safer community.
Yep, so, the last group, that's been trained, 28 people from the county garage. They're out on the roads. We've had some of them even respond to accidents out on the roads. So, I thought that was a good deal there. And I was able to get every vehicle that they have in service a first aid kit. So every one of their vehicles, truck, dump truck, tractor, whatever it is.
That's
They all
incredible.
have new first-
That's incredible. Can we give her a hand for that, please?
And then everybody help each other, you know, that's the way I look at it. So the last thing is, the guys out there at the garage asked for an AED. This is show and tell. So this is the new AED. I made application to, Deaconess Heart Saver Program, which is a program of Deaconess Foundation and Deaconess Heart Hospital. So I asked for one and they gave me two. So this one's going out to the county garage. I was excited about that. And then they're gonna get training on this tomorrow. That's it.
Stephanie, before you leave, on the weather radios, do you have any of those, to give away now to the public or not really? And,
Not today, I have one,
okay, you better hold on to that one.
but, I am looking, going through Midland, which is this company, to get some funding to get some new ones. And then I also have other funding that I can pull from to get to do like a weather radio blitz at the gazebo like we did a few years back.
That'd be neat.
And get them all programmed, batteries, that's the big thing, make sure you put batteries in them if you get them.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're able to help some of us that are, weather radio challenged, if we need help.
I can program it and I can even.
Or,
We may not have 700,000 for weather sirens, but maybe we can get $700 for cases of weather radios.
we have another ARPA meeting coming up on Thursday, as you know, and, I plan to bring it up again. I'd like to see us use some of the money for some storm siren replacement. And I know we can't afford to do the entire county, but maybe try to target some of those sirens that are really old and need to be replaced or repaired. I'm just thinking we take a reasonable approach and fix some of those ones that are, problematic all the time. Does that sound reasonable, fellow
Yep.
commissioners?
Our county getting,
And a lot of our storms come from the west, going easterly. And I know you got a better handle on that than most of us, but maybe we could look at some of those along the western front, if you will, the western line, and see which ones of those are more problematic when the time comes. If we can get this funding or some funding, let's look at the most sensitive and, I guess the best areas to make some improvements. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie.
If you
Stephanie.
guys see my, needs a radio or needs one program. Everybody here has my number.
Thank you. Any other department heads before we move on? Sheriff Van Hoven.
I'm Bruce Van Hoven, I'm your elected sheriff, and I gave you guys the March report for jail numbers and work release numbers. Jail numbers for March, we had 72 males and 17 females average every day, and then a daily average of 89. Work release numbers, we had an average of 20 males, 2 females, a daily average of 27. In our monthly job opening update, corrections officers were allotted 21 corrections officers. We have 16, so we are now down 5. I know that Sheriff Ballard and Amanda Lesh, my jail commander, have been interviewing people, so right now we're down 5. Dispatch, we have 9 allotted spots. We have 6 full-time people, so we're down 3. But George and I have been interviewing and hiring people. We have 6 part-timers. And 5 of those 6, I think all have experience. And then, we have 2 new part-time people that are on the way that used to work for us back in the day, and they need a part-time job. So that's 8 part-timers. Then we also have 2 jailers who used to be in dispatch that can step in. So no public safety problems there. Deputy wise, we are fully staffed right now. 19. We did just have a deputy resign. She's going to the hospital, so best of luck to her. We have 2 in the academy, and they will graduate April the 19th. And we have 1 that's going to the academy in May. That's Eric Powell, and we swore in Sean Holmes yesterday on April 1st. And we expect that there'll be another opening coming soon. Community corrections, we have 1 field officer position. So I haven't done this in a while, but we have a We Do Great Things story, and it's kind of interesting that we'd be talking about CPR. On May 26th at 2:47 PM, Gibson County Central Dispatch received a 911 report of an unknown medical call on Sport Drive just outside of Princeton. They found an older gentleman unresponsive in the roadway. Deputies Michael Owens, Brian Small, and Eric Powell immediately went en route and arrived on scene at 2:54. Upon arriving, Deputy Powell checked the man's vital signs, and upon finding no pulse, he prepared the man for an AED unit to be applied, and then began CPR. Deputy Owens got his AED out of his car, and with the help of Brian Small, they got it secured, and a shock was delivered. At that point, Deputy Small rotated out with Deputy Powell, began continuous CPR until another shock was advised. Ultimately, the Gibson County Ambulance Service, Dover Township Fire arrived on scene. They took over care of the individual and transported him to the emergency room. It's very important to realize that they don't transport people who are deceased. So in the eyes of AED, this was a save. And I just want to highlight Deputy Owens, Deputy Small, and Deputy Powell for their life-saving effort on May 26th. Now for the Paul Harvey rest of the story. Deputy Powell was sworn in on February 28th. He was in his field training program. 1 week before this incident, he had done CPR out at the hospital, the CPR AED training. This incident highlights 2 things about my department that I'm always saying is, whether it's through our service or our training at the Gibson County Sheriff's Office, we do great things. And then speaking of training, we have put 70 of our employees through CPR last year, CPR AED training, which makes not only the community safe, but also the guys that live at 112 East Emerson safe, because they're there and they're able to do that. So is there any questions or concerns?
No.
Okay, one last thing. I know we do great things, but I have to highlight Nick Burns here, because he was out on his day off picking up trash, and nobody's paying him to do that. So.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nick, for beautifying our county.
Hold on, I do have to say that Sheriff Vanover was out.
He was helping you?
He was on a different area though.
Oh, okay. Are you sure he was working?
I didn't see him, but he was out doing great things.
Thank you both in that case. Thank you both.
Bruce.
Ms. Shade?
Have Julie Shade with the Health Department. I have the report for March 24th or March. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
No. Hey, the eclipse real near. So, we got our supply of Narcan in. All the town halls, I shouldn't say all, Francisco doesn't have any yet, and Hazelton, we're working on that, but Owensville, Fort Branch, Hopstock, Princeton, Oakland City, we have Narcan at those places. So I just wanted to let you all know if anybody needs any. The Princeton Police Department, I took a bag over to them today because they needed some, and all their officers will have Narcan on them in case with the influx of people, that's something that's important. Also, to let the public know, we do have tests for fentanyl and xylazine, which is a tranquilizer to tranquilize horses. And it's mixed with fentanyl, you know, that's what kids are doing and, but Narcan does not, help with the trank. It's called trank is what they call it. It does not help with that. So, but we do have tests to test if anybody in the public feels like a family member, friend or anything and they need it. And we do have those. So I wanted to let you guys know that. Right? Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, any other department reports? If not, we'll move right on to George Ballard and an update on the jail project. George, things look pretty busy over there and
Yeah,
getting things done.
about 70% done, total project. As you noticed, or probably you can see, they're putting the siding up on the building now. And, you know, we've had a camera that's been available for people to watch. Just to kind of give you an idea, for the month of March, we had 9,497 people look in and look at the view of course, now the problem now is it's just a gray wall, so we are working on moving the camera, so it might be a little more entertaining than just looking at a gray wall all the time. But, so we're working on that. Hopefully we'll have that moved here in a couple of weeks and, I think our average per month or March is 306 views a day. So we're pretty proud of that. That's come a long way from when we first started.
Yeah,
sure is.
We thought 50 was great. So now we're doing 300 plus every day. Of course, I've mentioned that, you know, the siding's going up on the building. They're doing a lot of electrical work and starting next week, they're going to actually start painting inside the sheriff's office part of it. One thing I'll throw this in, also this, that Officer Bello and Officer Craven are both correction officers and they just finished up the EMR class that Stephanie was talking about. So we're, you know, on a project of trying to, get all of our jail staff, the emergency responders in the jail. That this kind of helps us on liability, plus, you know, I save somebody's life someday.
Yeah.
So.
Great idea. Great idea. We appreciate you guys doing
Thank you,
that.
George.
Thank you.
That's a good move. Update on the opioid grant, Dave Doty.
Yeah, we were just speaking on the members of the opioid board, Addiction Recovery Board, wherever there was money put out. That's the people that, and I'll give y'all a copy, just to kind of update where the money's went.
Thank you.
That way it's going in the proper direction. So, with the addiction solutions, money was given out for 26,075 for windows to be put in for fire escape and all that down at the bottom. The windows have been bought and they had a contractor bail out, but they've got a new one that's gonna put it in. It's supposed to be done this spring and that'll be completed and all that money will be spent. And he's awarded $66,110 for the tuck pointing. That still ain't been done yet because that contractor bailed out. We can't find a tuck point person. The money's still laying there. Somebody in this crowd just gave me a number today for some tuck pointing, so it looks like we may have somebody to do that tuck point for them. I appreciate that. That they had a contractor bail out. So all their money's all there, and then with well at Gibson County, they sent what they spent their money on now. Camp fees, $650, $500 for liability insurance, $6,000 for payroll, $575. The sheriff capability program, lease of the classroom space in Princeton, $200, and the computer laptop setup, it's $120. So that's all the money the well used for the women's program. And then on Youth First, it's pretty, they haven't spent it all, but they will. They got it listed of the money they spent so far. It looks like 8 Youth First school-based staff was paid. And it serves 16, every school in our community's been served. It shows it right on this paper. All 16 schools have been served in Gibson County. This money hasn't traveled out of the county at all through Youth First to Vandenberg, Pike, or nowhere. It stayed right in Gibson County. So it's got some interesting stuff here. Individual student report support. 347 students received 5,541 individual counseling sessions already this year. That's quite a bit, so that's a good thing if they're getting something out of counseling.
Would you say that number again? That's amazing.
Individual student support equals 347 students who received 5,541 individual counseling sessions supplied by this money for people at the schools. Immediate need interventions was 1,457. There was 45 crisis interventions. There was 391 referrals to community resources. Teacher consultations, 3,629. Parent consultations, 1,479. And prevention education, 2,321 students there. And then they list all the money here. I could go through all that, but you guys got that, showing where it goes to every school here. Holy Cross, Owensville, Fort Branch, St. Joseph, St. James, Wood Memorial, Princeton, all of it. So far, they've totaled up to $36,322.13. So the rest of that money, 6 months, they'll have to show where the rest of that money is also to make everything clear. And there's more to be done because there's more to spend.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody know Walmart, PBS, Walgreens was actually sued and there's more lawsuits coming. There's more money coming. They settled out of court with the state, Ricotta. And we got the email on that. So they've agreed to a settlement for prescribing opioids. I think it's good or bad. But I did want to mention one thing. Addiction Solutions Men's and Women's House has volunteered. They will be cleaning up the streets, cleaning up whatever you need on the 13th. And that's a good thing. They're gonna all volunteer from Addiction Solutions to clean the streets up and clean everything up. And the parks, whatever's necessary.
Dave?
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. And that program, just so everybody knows, is the Addiction Solutions Program requires those folks to maintain employment. They have to have a job.
Yes.
They have to attend some church, and they have to do community service. I mean, there's a lot of good points to this program.
Work to pay their way there. It's not state funded. There's no Medicaid taken, no nothing. It's all you have to work and pay your own way, or you can't stay. You lose your job, you're gone. It's for somebody that wants to be there and wants to do the program.
They want them to get healthy and also become active in their community.
Going to meetings every day, every evening at 7 o'clock, going to a meeting, and then they're going to church every Sunday and the year program, not all of them stay. But they have graduated quite a few since it's been open, to be honest with you. I think the success rate's been pretty good myself.
If it saves one life, I consider it a great success.
And once they get the tuck pointing done, the Addiction Solutions will qualify for grants they've been losing because they don't have the fire escape windows down at the bottom of the building in the bedrooms. That's what's been holding them up, getting grants to do the rest of the stuff. So sooner we can get this done better.
Well, the mental health aspect of this too, reaching 347 kids that just needed an adult to talk to.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty big. That's significant. And there are so many kids. I've been in public teaching and public school and public service for 27 years. And there are so many kids that just need somebody to talk to. You know, they go home and we all know how busy parents are. Many of us are busy. They go home, there may not be someone there to talk to or chat with. And this funding is allowing us to bring some folks in to talk to these kids. And it may not even be that significant of a conversation. We just have an adult there, you know, to bounce an idea off of or talk to.
Yeah, we've been trying not to outsource any money that's coming in for that and keeping it all in Gibson County, with the exception of the duck pointing. Because there's nobody in Gibson County that does it. We had one out of another area, Newburgh, and he found one that's in Pike County, but sometimes the work has to be done by who's qualified to do the work.
Yeah.
Other than that, all the rest of it's being done over there by a person in recovery that started their own business, actually. It's gonna do the windows and the other. So,
And Commissioner Burns serves on that board. You serve on that board. Who am I leaving out?
I'm Norval,
Of the health
Sure.
department?
yep. And,
Sheriff, Sheriff,
Sheriff Van Oven?
Van Oven and Pastor Jonathan Reiser, White River Baptist Church.
Good group of people right there. Keep it up. Keep it up. And may I share this with Andrea so that she might look at some of the numbers? Do you have it already?
The numbers.
Okay, okay.
Jason, on these bids that he's talking about, with the contract, hey, don't they qualify for a bid bond, performance bond?
Well, they would not have to have one, but we could certainly require it going forward, yeah. At those amounts, they would not have to have a bid bond. Probably not a bad idea, though.
Mhm. Wouldn't hurt anything.
no.
Yeah, just.
Secure.
I tore down Baldwin Heights School and I tore down Francisco School.
Mhm.
I had to have bid bond, performance bond, or says all through the state. I just wondered why it wouldn't apply here.
Wouldn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt anything. We can talk afterwards and, okay.
Yeah, well,
Yes, man.
Yeah, that is a good suggestion. Thank you. Karen, animal shelter, letter of support?
Sharon Lane, Gibson County Animal Shelter Board. I'm just back to see if you guys have had a chance to look at the letter of support. I think last time I forgot to tell you that, County Attorney Spindler had previously looked at this as well, and I won't speak for you.
I approve it. I have no issues with it.
And it's kind of a pretty standard thing that you would apply to grants, just so that the person you're seeking the grant fund knows that you have official community support and elected official support. So again, as I said before, it doesn't commit you to any specific amounts of money. It's just kind of a generic thing.
And we've already made our commitment, so as far as us contributing anymore, that's not what you're looking for.
No.
You're just looking for some teamwork to make the dream work. All right,
Yes.
did you bring an extra? Oh, sorry. Thank you,
If I could get a copy later,
certainly.
to keep one with your notes and one for me.
we don't need to make a motion.
And on grant application. And then just a real quick thing, we're back into our regular fundraising, even though we've got a building campaign fundraising go, we're back to our regular fundraising. The first one of the year was down at the VFW. We did kind of a puppy bowl kind of a thing and had an adoption event, puppy bowl Sunday. We got one animal adopted. Last Saturday, we were at the gazebo for the Princeton Easter egg hunt and we did photos. Lots of kids. We had over 50 families come through. We had some live rabbits there, so we could tell the community about how to be a responsible pet owner, because we expect in a month or so, we're gonna get an influx of rabbits to the shelter. Because people so darn cute, because they are, but they don't really have a clue what pet ownership of a rabbit is about. So we did that last Saturday. This coming Saturday, Bulbs is going to do a give back event for the shelter. So on Saturday, if the weather's good, we will have live animals for an adoption event in the Pocket Park area. And anyone who comes to Bulbs between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m., 15% of that will go directly to the shelter. So we appreciate Bulbs. So if you're gonna do pizza Eclipse weekend, do it Saturday.
Saturday? Okay.
Yes, and Sunday, we're participating in the DPI market. We'll have a booth around the square. So those are the next things coming up.
Jason, we need to make a motion on that.
Yes, their motion to.
I'll make the motion. We do this because it's a good subject.
Yeah, I second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You have our support,
Well, thank you.
moral support.
Better believe it.
I'm looking for official down on paper.
Yeah.
You got that too.
Yeah, you know, that's the lawyer in me.
There you go.
And then as just a side subject, if I could step over and put my other hat, which is my full-time job as a prosecuting attorney, I want to thank Julie for all the Narcan and the test kits especially. Sheriff Van Oven and Deputy Ballard can attest that the horse tranquilizer is coming.
I'm not sure, we may have had one or two cases, maybe, but we're all on alert that it's coming. And people just don't realize that the horse tranquilizer overdose cannot be cured, fixed by Narcan. It'll probably be a fatality. So the test kits for fentanyl is great. That's great. Because people can, before they either take in illegal substances or appearance to a suspect, they can test it and find out if there's fentanyl in there. So that's a very good thing. And, they're not gonna hurt you. But with the horse tranquilizer, you wouldn't even know it's in there because it's mixed in with the fentanyl and the other substances. It's put in there to enhance the high and make it more effective. And people don't even know that. Now, not everybody that imbibes that is gonna die, but it takes so little to do it that we're gonna start having fatalities. So by having the test kits and more knowledge that the health department's putting out, that Narcan will work, hopefully people will be just a bit more aware.
If I might lean on you two experts for this, what drugs are we seeing the horse tranquilizer inserted into, or are there any certain drugs that,
It's mainly, I mean, what I've seen, you talk about maybe it's mixed with fentanyl.
and are they putting it in like pills? Are they putting in the pills? Are they using it in like cannabis, or where is it showing up? Where is it most prevalent, or is there a drug, you know what I mean, that they're. And I don't know either. I'm just asking.
I think it's being
Mixed
enhanced
with the-
marijuana.
Marijuana?
And I know for sure fentanyl, but they're mixing it.
May I say something on there?
Sure.
I know a lot about that, it's called train, that's, Vanderbilt County's having a real big problem, that people are dying at alarm clicks. They're putting it in everything, they're sneaking it into stuff, so some people that's taking drugs for the first time is gonna die. So the fact of the matter is, let's not take drugs, but it's really not that simple, is it? But
Oh.
it's going into a lot of things, man, really, she's right, it's called drink, and that's what they're putting it, they're even putting it in meth. They're putting it in all of it. It enhances the high.
Trank, like short for tranquilizer.
It's too much of it, you will not make it
And it doesn't take much.
through. No, and you will die. And there's people dying at alarming clips in the bigger cities. We haven't seen it yet, but we are gonna see it. It's like everything.
Thank you.
That's sad. That's very sad.
Oh, well, we'll get to.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks for the education, Dave. Appreciate that. New business community fund for Owensville Montgomery Township Fire District, Mr. Jeremy Wade and Mrs. Georgia Straw.
I'm gonna sit here and look.
Oh, you're welcome to come up too.
Anyway, my name is Jeremy Wade, I'm from Chief of the Owensville Fire Department. We're here to let you know the fire district is gonna hold a public meeting on April 15th to adopt a cumulative fire fund. Both fire district is organized under IC code 36-8-14-2. It will require the legislative body commissioners that appoints the board to approve by resolution the establishment of the fund. And I believe Mr. Watkins has a copy of the resolution.
He circulated it.
Yeah, I circulated it to him earlier.
I've seen it. I think the commissioners have also been provided a copy of it as well.
Okay. You guys should all have a copy. This is
And you said your public hearing is what day?
the 15th.
What time?
It's 7.
Kevin?
So that you're gonna have the public hearing and then you'll come back to us after the public hearing and ask for approval of the resolution on that. At that time.
You guys have a meeting on the 16th.
Okay, perfect. The day after your public hearing.
Right.
I didn't mean to interrupt if you
No,
were
no,
not.
you're fine. I was just waiting, listening to you. You know more about this than I did. I was reading the paper.
Now you're doing a fine job.
You have any questions?
Any questions?
Internet?
about
I mean-
this? I've got some pretty good notes here. I could answer maybe 2 questions.
So it's a tax, basically a tax, tax for equipment purposes.
equipment and like a couple years ago, well, 7 years ago, we started on this building, so we're making fairly substantial building payment every year, so the money would first and foremost go to replace some aging equipment. And then, you know, if we continued it, then, you know, we make building payments out of it or whatever else there, and split it every, you know, I don't need an attorney and I don't understand all these things.
But your building that you mentioned, we've got a ambulance base there, correct?
Yes.
And we don't pay anything for that, as I understand it.
Now, the agreement for that was made back in 1996. That we'll provide a building if you guys provide an ambulance, and I think it even went a couple steps further than that, and we purchased 3 ambulances to, you know, over the years. That's been since 97, so yeah, 30 years in there.
Was I understand that tonight you're just providing information and, entertaining any questions?
For the meeting, yes.
Mr. Wade, do you know if this tax will be a significant tax increase for folks in Owensville or?
I wouldn't call it significant. It is the max amount is 0.0333%.
It'll be like $33 on.
Yeah,
every thousand.
$33 for every 100,000.
$33 on every 100,000? Appreciate you notifying us and appreciate the copies you provided us. So we'll have to look it over and look forward to you coming back on the 16th.
Okay.
And finishing business then.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Southwest Annex Roof, ARPA request. I know Andy's, Schaefer's put together a quote. I just want to make the commissioners aware that he has talked to a roofer, a roofing company, and would like for us to take it to the ARPA committee on Thursday. So if there's no reservation, I plan on taking it to them and seeing if we can get approval for the roof, which would be phase 1 of the project. It'd be the first thing we want to do,
Right.
is to get a roof on that building. He told me, he gave me a rough figure earlier. It was around 40,000, give or take, for the roof quote or roof estimate. And so I just assured him, I said, I'll take it to ARPA and see if I can get approval on it Thursday and see if we can get things moving there. So
My only question with that is, you know, since I'm over that project as well, don't, in the standard procedure to go to ARPA first and then come to us? Is that correct, or what, how's that work?
Andy had gotten a quote and
We approve it, I mean.
at our last ARPA meeting, maybe I need to give a little further explanation. At our last ARPA meeting, I had brought up utilizing $200,000 potentially, not an exact number, but potentially for building improvements, which would include this improvements to this building and potentially the Clarion building, which is now being called the Southwest Annex building. So it was brought up at ARPA last time, but now what Andy's done is come up with a quote for the actual roofing. And I just thought it'd be best to bring it to your attention tonight and let you know that I plan on bringing it up Thursday.
Mhm.
And we're hoping we can get approval for it. And
Well, ARPA wants to know how much you want to spend anyway before you.
I believe he sent it over to ARPA already. I believe Andy turned it in, but Judy, do you know anything about that or not? I believe he sent the quote over to
Okay,
them,
that's good.
so. We're just trying to get the ball rolling because we got all these projects going and eventually we're gonna need a place to stay, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. So I guess my question is too, does it matter when does it matter whenever you're asking for these requests? I mean, we haven't really even approved the name of it yet. I mean, and, you know, normally we, like over there at the prosecutors, our probation building, we had to approve the name. Is that? I mean, we haven't approved the name for that building yet at all. I mean, right now it's still Clarion building. So does that even matter whenever you're going to a request, or I'm just asking the question?
I
mean,
think Andy was calling it Southwest Annex because it's southwest of this building and it's the most southerly, westerly building in the makeup of all of our buildings. So and honestly, I don't, maybe I should be more interested, but I'm not real interested in the name. If you have a different name variation,
Oh,
I will be happy to entertain it. And I mean that with the most respect.
Hmm.
It's just, I'm not big into names, but if you wanna, if.
I'm just wondering, as far as they going, when you actually go and ask for a request, and the
Right.
specific, the money dollars going straight to whatever the name, I
I
mean,
think the key ingredient is just identifying the building and its address, its physical address. Um,
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just checking on future things that, I mean, hopefully ARPA's around just a little bit longer. I mean, we're spending a lot, so.
It is, I tell you what, it has a mature date though of December 24. At least a preliminary mature date of December 2024, so.
Let me ask all my questions. I'm not, that's what I'm wondering what we should do on
I
that.
answered your question, I hope.
Yep.
I mean, is this something that I mean, do we table this or do we? What do you think?
I'm not even bringing it up for a vote. That wasn't my intention. I just wanted to let you know what was going on, so you weren't caught off guard and thinking, well, how are we getting this roof done or worrying about it? I just thought Andy's working on it. He's got a contractor, he's got a quote, and
Yeah,
believe the funding's there. So if anything, I guess what I'm asking for is Thursday, if you'd like to attend the ARPA meeting and support it.
What time is it?
4:30, isn't it?
I think 4:30.
4:30.
That's right about that.
yeah, I'll be there.
And if you don't mind me asking, support, should you feel that it's a good project, support repairing or replacing some of the storm sirens. That's liable to come up too in our meeting.
I mean, it's greatly needed, especially, it's one of those things you don't need until you need it.
And you know, this may not, it may not affect everybody because some people don't live in close proximity to storm sirens, but if I could just ask everyone here tonight, how many of you heard a storm siren last night? Did any of you benefit from a storm siren? Wow.
Heard on.
That's the majority of the room. We had, as she mentioned, we had a few that were not functioning like they needed to, but
Well, you live too far away or asleep when it goes
Yeah.
off.
how
They're
many,
not loud enough to wake you up.
how many of you received a notice of storm on your phone? Everybody. Okay.
TV as well, like 10 times.
How many of you couldn't go back to sleep after the morning? Yeah, okay, same here, same here.
I mean, it didn't wake up.
All right, that's great, that's great. Do we have any public comment? Miss Patty Van Oven. Better have to Sheriff Bruce Van Oven.
Yeah.
He just run out because he saw us raise their hand.
You know, it's County Chamber of Commerce, and I just want to, kind of, just let people know about the solar eclipse. I know Julie's already touched on that, but there's a lot of things going on in our community this weekend. But my thing is to reiterate the fact that this is an opportunity for our community. There's gonna be a lot of people who would have never came to our community under any other circumstance. And so this is an opportunity to show why Gibson County is great to visit, to work and to come and live. So just be courteous, be gracious, be kind, and show some future hospitality. Also, we are having, I coordinated this with Purdue Extension, Abby from Purdue Extension, and we are doing a class workshop on Meeting Mojo. That's what it's called. You can register at the chamber office through our Go Gibson app, website on the events page. But it is a workshop to help those who are on boards, who are elected officials, of how, Robert's Rules of Order, if you've never heard of those things, if you're planning on becoming an elected official, this is a great workshop that you could do. It's free to the public, 5:30 to 7:30, April 25th at the Princeton Public Library.
5:37.
5:30, 7:30. And I also
want to say, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we do have a Gibson County Rotary Club again. We had a Princeton Rotary Club that dissolved a few years back, but we have started up another one, and we meet currently at Dick Clark's the second and fourth Thursday at noon. So if anybody wants to know more about it or has interest or was a participant in the last Rotary club, please, I invite anybody to come.
Thank you. Thank you. We heard your harmonious voice on WRAY the other day. And you and Eric Heinrich, and man, you guys were knocking it out of the park, so thank you. Any other public comment? Larry Mickle?
I've been sitting here for 2 hours. And I know we've laughed a lot and talked and everything. And Patty thinks it's a really good idea for people coming to Gibson County. I think we can pat ourselves on the back for being Gibson County. Of everything that's happened the last 2 hours, most people in here have had input. And that takes an effort. Like David right there, he has worked his butt off on this drug abuse thing. And so many people in this room, Gary has worked on this arm drainage, and it just takes citizens. We've had good leadership, we've got good leadership, but it takes leadership from the public. Everybody chips in. It's the only place I've ever been to except for Purdue. So, for 4 years, I was born just right down the street here. I've lived here all my life, and I'm dying here. But I'm proud of this county, and just the employees alone, like Julie and Stephanie was telling about the safety issues. Sheriff Bruce was telling about his fine crew. Just an example of how dedicated they are. I got a phone call the other night, and I was driving, so I pulled off and stopped along the county road for 10 minutes to talk. Next thing I knew, the sheriff pulled up and I was checking on to see if I was okay. That's just good to know. And driving forward to work out in the fields. I see the EMS trucks go back and forth all the time. They're so busy, and the highway department, they moved all this dirt from Toyota, they moved the concrete from the jail and everything, and piled it out here. Now they gotta move it again for animal services. They've got a big job to do that. I think we should all be proud of our county. Feel proud of this year.
Traded for any other county, I know that. Well, any other public comment? Thank you, Larry. Those were some great words. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.